You will never achieve your true potential if you are dependent on others. Like, actually think about this. 80% of the time I go to the gym, I go alone. That means that if I only went when I had friends with me, I would only be going 20% of the time. And I can guarantee there would be no progress if I only did 20% of the training. It's come to my realization that the activities that will improve your life the most are also the ones that need to be carried out alone. I used to be super dependent on other people. I did most of my activities in groups, and it used to be fine, up until I decided to take things seriously. Stop being a dumbass. I quickly ran into a problem. You see, it's very easy to form a group of friends that plays video games 3 times a week. However, it's a completely different matter when the activity in question is going to the gym 3 times a week. And this is when we have to be comfortable with being alone. Like, I have a friend that's living proof of this. I was talking with him and he said, I haven't really been active lately. Everyone has been skipping the gym and I don't like to go alone, so I haven't been going at all. If you have people to help you in your activities, that's great, you should utilize that opportunity. But if you don't, you should still do the activity regardless, even if it has to be alone. It's like a dependency that we've developed. I don't think older generations were like this. They were much more used to being alone. Nowadays it's different. Our friends are always a text message away, which is great, but it comes at a cost. When was the last time you were actually alone? No voice calls, no texting, not even watching a movie, because you don't feel alone if you're consuming content. When was the last time it was actually just you and your thoughts? Probably a while ago, okay? And I'm not telling you to socially isolate yourself and become a weirdo. All I'm saying is, when you're alone, it's one of the very few times your brain isn't getting bombarded with inputs. When you're with your friends, your brain is always receiving information. You're always trying to interpret what they're saying. Same thing if you're listening to a podcast or even music. But when it's just you and your thoughts, nothing is being shoved in between your ears. This is when you can actually digest all of the information you've been receiving. You can't just shove information in your head without thinking about it and not expecting it to blow up. It's like filling up a tank without worrying about its max limit. It's not a smart thing to do. Yeah, I did exactly that a couple months ago, and I almost didn't even notice it, to be fair. It's a very gradual change. It all starts off well, you start to get a little stressed because you have so much stuff going on, and what I noticed was that my brain would start to get foggy, sometimes throughout the day, and I would forget very important things, because I was juggling too many thoughts at once, and my brain just couldn't cope with all of that, and it had to let go of some thoughts at random. It wasn't a very pleasant feeling. It only stopped when I started to reserve some alone time to digest everything that was happening. The difference was night and day. I could think much more clearly, and I wasn't forgetting random appointments anymore. Now, there is one drawback to spending a lot of time alone, or I don't know if I want to call it a drawback, but basically, because you're starting to spend more time alone, your personality is going to change. You're not going to be as influenced by your surroundings or your friends. You may even notice that you can't keep all of your past friendships because you simply don't identify with a certain someone anymore. You've changed. And that's okay as long as it's for the better. I simply think it's such a required skill because there are activities that you need to do alone. Like, if you want to lose weight, you can't be dependent on your friends and wait for them to invite you to go run. No, you have to do it for yourself. No one's gonna wake up and think, I gotta make this guy run today. I mean, unless you hire a personal trainer, but the point is, it's very hard to stay accountable when you are alone. I noticed this when I stopped playing football, actually, because with a team sport, people notice that you are absent. But if you train alone, running in the mountains, the mountain won't miss you. Shocking, I know. All you have is your head telling you that you should train, and that's ultimately where the decision is made. Just give it a try, completely disconnect from everything and just be alone. Go for a walk with no phone. You'll notice 2 things. One, it's hella strange because you're probably not used to it, and secondly, it's extremely boring because you're used to being stimulated all the time. It's great, just do it. It may even be a challenge, some people are actually afraid of this. I once gave this advice to a friend, I told her she should go for a walk, no phone, no music, just her and her thoughts. And she was like, no music? Why? Because that's the whole point, you know, it's just you and your thoughts. And she was like, that's scary. I didn't say anything, but if you get to the point where you're scared of being left alone with your thoughts, that should tell you that something's wrong. Because look, your mind is the only one that's with you since the beginning and will stay with you till the end. It should be your best friend, not your enemy. So, here's a little challenge for you. For the next week, try to have some alone time every day. Let's say 10 minutes a day, okay? It can be while you're waiting for the bus or, you know, waiting for the subway, whatever it is. Just 10 minutes a day, digest everything that your brain has been receiving. Seriously, give it a try. You'll be amazed at the difference.